Hi everyone. I just want to talk today about approaching the exam, specifically the exam that you've got for industrial relations and sport, but within the context probably of general points about sitting an exam. Key thing obviously is preparation. Preparation for yourself for that time of the day. If you think of it like someone going out to bat, then they might well think, because it's going to be a certain time of the day, then they're likely to bat, but they might well think of the time of the day and visualise what that's going to be like. And it's a little bit the same with an exam. Be prepared for that time of the day. For example, think of food, drink, preparation in that context. Also think of it in terms of preparation of knowing the material. Obviously we've been through that in the lecture, but I'll just make the points. One, about lecture and tutorial notes, ordering them, selecting what you think are the main topics. You should know the main topics. Then within the main topics, the main points. And once you've done that, then you might well establish links across between them. Another point about preparation is thinking too of how you would cope with the multiple choice questions. What are the sorts of things that have come up in last year, that came up in the board game that we used for revision, the class quiz we had? What are these short but to the point questions that have been asked? Another point to make about preparation is be aware of the day, if you're going to be hot, cold, how to dress appropriately. It's only 2 hours, but it's an important 2 hours for you. So in that sense, we have these general aspects of preparation. Now, focusing a little bit more on the content, as I suggested in the lecture, and I want to expand this just a little bit, make a list of topics, and then with that list of topics, hunt some of them up, hunt all of them up on the web and social media. You'll find some excellent YouTube videos, mini lectures, discussions. You'll find some good material also in some of the other universities. I think of Monash, which had an excellent article about industrial relations, and I think sport. I think of Adelaide University, which had an excellent piece about change and coping with change. So you will find helpful other material. So I would be looking up that, and I would have a folder, in fact, for each of my main topics and some of the key points or key sectors of that particular topic. Then I'll be looking at my book of readings, and if you haven't got a book of readings,
you must come and see me. That's if you want the help from a book of readings. And then from the book of readings, I'll be taking material and adding it to the relevant folders. Then you need to think about the way you're going to use your time in the exam. So you get in the exam, you read the questions, and remember that it's often an investment in time to spend a few minutes making some notes about the answers as you're thinking of them before you start writing any. Also make a note about practical aspects or aspects beyond the immediate question which might be relevant to it that you can bring in if you're pushing for full information. Think too about a general question, a generic question, an overall question that might well be asked about industrial relations and sport, and the gestalt or overview that you have of the subject and the specific topics that we've just talked about might well be aspects which you want to comment upon. And I guess the last aspect that I'd say is when you're in the exam, remember that you know a lot more than you think you do. You have experience in the sport world. You might well have triggers, and I'll come back to those, which signal to you certain things to remember, certain things to use as examples. And by triggers, I mean you might have a word associated with, say, player associations, organisational culture. You might well have some form of visualisational culture. You simply imagine a staff room in a sports organisation. You might have a trigger word, which sets off an association for you, for example, sport tribunals, or you might simply have that image of the room with the tribunal meeting in it. So some people deliberately caught those images, caught those keywords, just the same as in sport itself, especially when we're active in sport, where we use visualisation and imagery, self-talk, all these devices which will help us in the exam. And I guess an obvious one also with exams is at the end of the exam, just check back through your little list of notes, which you might well have missed something, and just check back through your topics and see if
in the exam trigger off something important which another sentence would encapsulate. So approach the exam with confidence. You know, you're a good class. In general, you know the material. Check your lecture notes, especially look at your tutorial notes and tutorial topics. And then just take it easy and feel pleased with yourself. So good luck to each of you. And if you're not sure about a topic, then I'm always available. Email me, call me, pop in, because it's not a situation of trapping, it's not a situation of weeding the sheep out from the goats, as an old teacher of mine used to say, but it is a process of drawing out from you your perceptions, your perspectives and your knowledge of industrial relations and sport. So good luck.